Just while I was at work today, I thought I'd talk about some of the films that inspire Blood for the Demon's Daughters. The first one I want to talk about is a fairly important one called Mr. Vampire. Now, this film came out in 1993 in Hong Kong, around about the same time that another film called Chinese Ghost Story came out, and that sort of started a whole bunch of different films in that genre, which are the kind of kooky supernatural horror films. This is another one, Spooky Encounters. So the mythology, I'm borrowing a lot from these films. I'm also borrowing from this film, which is getting a bit naughty in a way, because this is about a kind of a witch who possesses people. When their heads come off, their entrails come out and they turn into these demon creatures. So I'm using some of the mythology of that and mixing it up with some of the mythology in films like this to sort of create a new kind of vampire in a way. At one stage I was saying that the film is a mash of Mr. Vampire and another film called Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead is kind of like a buddy comedy film and also a horror film, but really so is, in many ways, Big Trouble in Little China is a buddy comedy film. So Big Trouble in Little China probably really did inspire the whole thing in the first place, in that it's a Western film with some sort of Asian mythology to it. I tried to look up the mythology that's behind Big Trouble in Little China, but I think the writer may have actually just made it all up. I really can't find where it comes from. So that made me go to films like Mr. Vampire and Spooky Encounters and borrow from that kind of mythology. Also, talking about the look of the film, I'm very into Italian horror. That sort of giallo lighting that you might see in films like Suspiria, I'm interested in picking up. But there's also a bunch of films called Pinky Violence films, and this is one of them. Sometimes the shots are very similar to Italian giallo films, where the colour is quite overwhelming. They also have some really nice depth in the way they're shot. They're always thinking about foreground, middle ground, background, and so I'm hoping that they will influence the look of it as well. I was going to bring some of those along with me, but I've lent them to the DOP, Cam. Just wanted him to have a look at them so I knew we were on the same page style-wise, which is important. Another film I should mention is... Hello? No one there.